All right. It is Friday. I'm 70 miles from 1,000. Finally Friday. I don't have to be home till after 6. So I'm gonna go for a ride. I'm gonna go down Pine River Road today. One of my favorite short rides. If I go straight, I'll end up on Pine River Road. But I want to start at the beginning of Pine River Road. So we're gonna go this way. Go down and catch Pine River Road at the beginning. My stereo has been screwed up. I don't know what's going on with it. It just randomly stops playing anything. And you turn it off, turn it back on, sometimes it comes back, and sometimes, like right now, it doesn't. So it's just being stupid, and I don't know what's wrong with it. It's not like when you hit a bump, it's not like there's a bad connection or something's loose. It just stops playing. Sometimes I get 3-4 miles out of it and it's fine, and sometimes I get half of a song. Well, it'll shut off 4 or 5 times in a song. I don't know what's going on with it. And I like listening to the radio on this. I put a radio on my GL650 and I hated it, and I don't quite know why. It just sounded horrible, I think. And it actually sounds good on this bike, so. Alright, I'll go. 'Cause you gotta wait for that big truck. It's a nice day out. It's a little bit windy, but the temperature's up. We're up pretty close to 60. The sun's out. A little bit overcast, but not bad. I'll probably stop when I get down to St. Louis. Stretch my legs a little bit. I did forget to text my wife, so I usually just text her when I leave. She's not at home, that's why I ain't got to be home till 6. See, it works. All I did was turn it off and turn it on. No, it might shut off in 100 feet. I don't know. It's just random. And I haven't looked into, you know, like, I don't know if this is the whole unit or if there's modules somewhere else. I don't know how this particular system is set up or how it works. I do know that I don't think my uncle used it very much when it was his bike. See, Pine River's right up here. This road coming across is Gordonville, and the next one is Pine River. St. Louis, 21 miles. Bet you didn't know there was a St. Louis, Michigan. So if you watched my video, just recent video of my afternoon commute, you heard me talking about the road being, it wasn't a natural flow, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, being a natural flow. We've got curves that are flowing naturally along the river. Nice sweepers, they're not 90-degree turns, stuff like that. So I like this road a lot. And nice scenery. I do like all the stuff that I see on this road. It's just, you know, it's a good road. Glad I found it. And as I've mentioned before many times, mid-Michigan curved roads, you don't see too many. So when you find one, especially as nice as this, it's a fun one to ride. I mean, it's not Tennessee fun, but like that corner, that was a beautiful corner. Love that one. So another thing that I was talking about the other day when I did my ride, I've been listening and watching some moto vloggers, and I like the idea that they pick something to talk about as they're riding, and then they, because we're all a little ADD, and we all just see things and say stuff as we're riding. So they get interrupted by all of that stuff, just like I do. But they picked that one topic and they kind of stick with it. And I kind of was thinking about that, and I'm like, well, what could I talk about? What could I focus on? Oh, this guy's going to be a problem, isn't he? I'm not sure why he's not using the road. It's there for a reason. Oh, I think my radio just shut off. Yep, see, doesn't last very long. Sure wish I knew what was wrong with it. So this is 8 Mile. If I had gone straight right up there at that intersection when I turned, oh good, I'd end up right here, and I'd miss a bunch of curves. Not only that, I kind of wanted to highlight or show the beginning of this road. That's where it starts. That's where Pine River Road starts. It actually ends, I think it ends before St. Louis. I don't think it's Pine River all the way down to St. Louis. I could be wrong. Nice, beautiful sweeper right there. Those are fun right there. I love this house on the left. I love their idea. I think I would do the yard a little different. Oh, to the left is Pine River, so all of these houses on the left are somebody cheering for Brandon. That's exactly this neighborhood. Yeah, everything on this left is on the edge of Pine River. It flows along through there. So I guess back to what I wanted to talk about, my focus of this ride. I kind of wanted to talk about, lately I've been looking at, hey, there's a cemetery. You know how many dead people are in there? All of them. That was my uncle's introducing me to dad jokes. I miss you, Uncle Owen. My focus, I kind of wanted to focus on something that I've had my eye on lately. I don't know why it caught my eye. It's been around for, I want to say 5 or 6 years at this point. I think the Honda CB500F, the new version of it, came out, I want to say, in 2015. It might have been 14, it might have been 16. I'm not exactly sure. But for some reason, they just recently caught my eye. I think part of it is that I've been looking at, I have a project coming up, the CB500 from the 70s. I want to do a cafe project, and that's an inline 4. I think it'll be cool. This is a nice corner too. I think it'll be really cool to build. It is in a small 4-cylinder, but it still has that, you can get them to have that big 4-cylinder sound, which is, to me, is just intoxicating. So that's kind of why I wanted to build that. So in searching for those and in searching for videos of those, it comes up that it brings up the new 500Fs, which is cool. So I've been watching those and doing research and stuff on those. And what I'm finding a lot of are people like, oh, it's a great beginner's bike, and it doesn't have a lot of power. But you know what? Everybody that I've listened to has said it's an amazingly smooth bike. And for a modern bike, it seems like the consensus is that it's a very simple bike for a modern bike. I think it's fuel injected, and I think just recently they added the option of ABS. I kind of like the idea of ABS. This has ABS, although I've never actually had it engaged. So just knowing it's there though is nice. But that's a feature coming. The dash is real simple. It's not like you got 7 different riding modes, and it's just a basic, simple motorcycle. And I think that's what I like about it. The other thing that kind of tripped me off on it was it's rated for like between 70 and 80 miles to the gallon. Okay, so 70 to 80 miles a gallon on a full-size motorcycle, not a Grom, not a moped, not not a little tiny toy bike. Okay, you're looking at 70 miles to the gallon on a full-size bike, full-size riding motorcycle with a 500cc motor, and I just think for commuting, I think that would be absolutely beautiful. I don't mind riding this bike. I do like this bike. These corners right here are killer if you're not paying attention. I do like riding this bike, and I don't mind commuting on it, but I don't want to put all of the miles on it that I do commuting. Does that make sense? The miles I put on this bike, I want to be touring with it. I want it to be out on the road the way it was, where it was designed to be. So if that makes any sense, I would rather ride a CB500 every day than this, just for the ease of operation and things like that. So all these reviewers are saying, it is what it is, and in the European countries or countries where they have different tiered licensing, I've seen that it's like an A2, which is, I think, an up to 500. It's like it's a step up from a beginner, I think. It's not a full-fledged, you can go out and buy an R1. So, but they're not looking at it for what it is, all right? It is a nice-looking bike. It's a nice-looking modern bike. And it's a Honda, and it's Honda solid from everything I've seen on it. So, I'm not looking to get something so that I can go ultra fast. I already have a touring bike, and it just seems like it would fit that area of me that I'm looking for a. Oh, is this Eagle out there? It is. There's a wellhead out there. I think that's what it is. And there's a wooden eagle sitting on it. And I know I've pointed that out on this ride before, but there's a wooden eagle sitting on it, and yes, it got me the first time I came down through here. So I have to look every time. I've been down through here where there's cars that have stopped and have been looking at that wooden eagle, thinking that it is an eagle sitting in the middle of the field, which is kind of funny. This might be the end of Pine River. I'm not sure if it continues. The road continues, but I'm not sure if it's still called Pine River up here. I guess I'll take a look. I've never had that inkling. Hey, we're only 9 miles from St. Louis now. I'm halfway there. It is Pine River. It's still Pine River at this point. This road is usually pretty busy, like on the weekends on a nice warm summer day. There's a lot of bikes that ride this road both ways. For some reason, I have a tendency to ride this direction every single time, and I don't know why. I just, I get my routes, and I ride big circles, and this is my circle. I start at that point on Pine River Road. I started there today because I work so close to it, but it could be any place. That's ooh, there's a bird of prey. So yeah, I've been just really thinking about this CB500F. They make a CB500R. The Honda took the same motor and they put it in 3 different bikes with 3 different purposes. Had to get a little aggressive on that one. They make the CB500F, which is kind of the simple straight, I guess you could call it like naked street fighter, if that's what you want to call it. I don't know. They make a CB, I think it's a CB500R, it might be CBR500R, but it's the same motor, and it has like sport bike cladding, plastics on it. And I've heard some people like, why would you do that? It's not a sport bike, it's just for sport bike wannabes. You know what? Suzuki did it for years with the GS500. They put a little 500 twin and put sport bike, made it look like a sport bike, and they sold a ton of them. So I think that would be cool. I think it's cool that they did that. Not everybody wants that great big huge fast bike. I do, trust me. I like speed as much as the next guy, and that's why I don't have one of those. Because I find that I have no self-control with that throttle. It is too much fun to get on that bike and twist, and off you go. So those days for me are over. And then they make a CB500X, which is, I think it's aimed at like a dual sport, the dual sport market. I think it'd probably be competent. I think it sits a little higher front and rear. The suspension's a little taller. And if that's your thing, that, you know, you're talking the difference between that and like a BMW GS series is, I think it's GS. They're big adventure touring bikes, and it's like the difference in off-road capability. I gotta say, I almost think that the CB500X would probably be more capable in most situations. This one always gets me too. There's a curve right here, and I'm always staring at the stuff that they got in their yard. They just got really cool stuff, and it's different stuff all the time. So you come by there, and it's like some days they'll have hot rods out there and big trucks, and you know, so it's always cool stuff to look at. But it's on the middle of a curve, and I found myself in the opposite lane more than once, looking at their junk in their yard. So I think the 500. The new CB500 series from Honda is a good, solid bike. That's what I've heard about it. And I mean, most Honda bikes are rock solid. But it seems to me like performance-wise, I'm thinking there's supposed to be one at my local Honda dealer, and I'm thinking sometime next week I might stop and see if I can possibly take it for a ride just to get a feel for it before I get too heavily pursued and pursuing them and then find out I don't like it. I did that with a bike. Honda made an NC700, and like the first year, I want to say it was 2010, 2012, maybe, somewhere in there. Oh, that dog's not happy to see me at all. Oh, I see, he's barking at the people across the street. Has no interest in me. Anyways, they made this NC700, and it was different than their later models. It was more closely related to, it was like the baby brother to the ST1300s. And I thought it was a cool bike. I mean, it had the integrated bags. The bags were part of the bodywork, a little bit like a. The bags are integrated into, and they're kind of like the Pacific Coast, the PC 800 or whatever it is. It's very similar to that. And I thought it was a cool bike. I looked at them brand new, and I was like, those are really cool. And then one came up for sale on Craigslist. I'm gonna pass this guy. I'm not flying by him to be a dick, but there's not a big passing zone here. There was one come up on Craigslist. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go take a look at it, and I rode it, and I didn't really like it. At the time, I was used to my GL650, and it was a much more relaxed riding position, and that was a little bit more rider forward. Your upper body's forward. You're kind of leaning on the bars, and I know you can get different bars and stuff. And after riding it, I was like, It runs good, it rides good, but I don't think it's what I'm looking for. And it wasn't really what I was looking for, so. But I'm glad I rode it before I bought one, or before I continued to look for those. And that may be the case with the CB500, where I get out and actually ride one and find out that I don't really like it for whatever reason. I'm just really used to this relaxed recliner position. And my GL650 was very relaxed. Oh, that was kind of neat. A carcass of a deer that's down to bones. So it's just this rack of ribs sitting there. Kind of weird. And we got the big windmills down in this area. Some people don't like them. I think they're kind of cool looking. I kind of like to watch them as we ride. They're peaceful giants. Ooh, he's got a K&M sitting in there. Yeah, I'm a nosy Nelly. I look in everybody's garages. A couple years ago when the floods came through, I don't think it was this corner. I think it was a different one. One of these corners, like, there was enough water had come down. It washed right up into the guardrail, and they actually had the road blocked off. You couldn't travel any further on the road either way. It was completely blocked. It's not like one lane or anything. It was completely blocked. I think it might have been that one because it was before St. Louis, and now we're in St. Louis. So this part of the ride was sponsored by the new CB500F. And my wonderings and ponderings on that bike. So I don't know what I'm going to talk about on that part of the ride. I've already expressed my opinions on the CB500. I think it's definitely something I'm going to pursue. Like I said, I'm going to go take a ride on one, maybe, if they'll let me take a ride on it. I've not seen a lot of used ones out there, and the used ones I've seen are running pretty close to the same price as new ones. Like, they're close, they're not, they're less, as you would expect, but not a lot less. So it's like, I don't know. There's a spot in here in St. Louis I always pull over, take a picture, because I think it's a cool spot to take a picture. It's old downtown area of what used to be the thriving metropolis. Another dog not too happy with me. The thriving metropolis of St. Louis, the thriving metropolis that was St. Louis. Maybe I will today. You know what? I usually pull over this way. I'm gonna pull around here. Usually there's not very many people out here, so I'll pull over, take a picture, and take off. Ooh, there's a tattoo place. Right over here and get a tattoo. I like these old downtown areas. Snapshot into the past. What used to be. That starter works so much better. My radio started working again. I could sing this about my radio. Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Oh, it quit already. We didn't even get to the chorus and it quit. So this particular road is 46. I'm sure it's known as many other things as most roads in Michigan are, but I think it's mainly known as 46. So it runs east to west, and it goes from, I think it goes all the way over to Alma from here. You can keep going on it, and all the way into Saginaw. So it's like a major thoroughfare between, right across the state. And it's a long, straight stretch of pretty much nothing. A lot of that, a lot of farming stuff going on down here. I'm gonna stop at a couple places for photo ops. Yeah, it's windy out today. Those windmills are sure spinning. There's a Klaus-Stealer. The Klaus-Stealer. This is Breckenridge, and with all these little towns that are in through here, they have a very strong, it's middle America, all right? So you have, on this road alone, and you'll see, I'm gonna stop at both of them, we have VFW Hall. And this one I like because it has an airplane out here, and I was in the Air Force, so that appeals to me. What in the heck was that clicking? I don't know what it was. So I'm gonna stop. Photo op. Oh, that was the flagpole banging. Cool. I think a lot of America has gotten away from remembering this type of stuff, and it's sad. Ooh, shoot. This is a little warm, I think. That's probably where that came from. Oh, the radio came back on. Let's see how long it lasts this time. And it is one of my favorite 80s band, Loverboy. Everybody's working for the weekend on the Joe. You know it's a good place to eat when there's a Harley sitting out front. I always wanted to stop there. I think this might, I don't know if it's a VFW or an Eagles. For some reason they've got a tank outside and some missiles. So I'm gonna stop for the photo op. I've taken pictures here before. Yep, this is VFW. Whoa! That almost blew me off the road, literally. Oh, I've never taken a picture in front of that. That will be cool. I do like the tank and the big artillery gun. I've never done it with that as the background, so I think that'll be cool. Wow, that was a good one. I like the statue there. Some gave all with the boots and the gun and the helmet. Fired right up that time. No high compression. Oh, the radio's working. Yeah. Good ride. I would have loved to have done it in the Kawasaki again, but wasn't meant to be. So we did her on the Harley. Made it home. Home sweet home. My lawn's mowed. That's it for the ride. I hope you enjoyed the ride. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Facebook at 650cycle. I post different things on them. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, leave a comment. I know I'm not the greatest videographer or editor, so you don't have to tell me that. I already know. But that is the Ultra Classic. Like I said, that would have been a great ride on the Kawasaki. Until the next one, ride safe.